Hi again, this is Rick with AmazingAccuracy.com. Today is May 26th, 2014. It is currently 3:28 p.m. Chicago time. It's the Memorial Weekend and everything's pretty slow, which has given me some time to put together this video because it's been a while since I made a video. I apologize for that, but I have been extremely busy. But I'm going to share something with you now because I believe that it is very important that you be aware of this. As a matter of fact, not only am I putting this video out right now, but I'm also going to be sending out one of my free newsletters because I just think that those of you who trade the stock market or the SP 500 or the SPX, it is important, or the Spider, the SPY for that matter, that it's important to know that we're coming up to some important timing periods here that you may want to know in order to not only protect your trades, but possibly take advantage of a downturn. Okay, as you know, the S&P 500 has been on a tear. However, of course, you may or may not know that this market is artificially inflated. In other words, as quantitative easing and all that, blah, 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 the political stuff, all that's going on is just inflating this market. It's ridiculous, but it's just, going up on vapor, and it can only go up for a certain period of time. Now, I'm not necessarily making a prediction of the major top in the S&P, although it could possibly produce such a thing, but I am going to provide you information for the short term, okay? But to start off with right now, we're looking at the S&P futures market, the monthly price chart. This is a monthly chart of futures, and as you can see here, we're just running up month after month. The recent pullback was here in April. This was the April 2014 price bar you see here. It made a lower low, and then back in February 2014. So the reason I have these pointed out here is on my chart is because these notes were on my chart prior to February and April, and then I just recently put an arrow to connect my note to what actually happened. So we can see that, and when I put these notes on, all I'm doing here is reminding myself to be looking for a swing turn, not necessarily indicating whether it'll be a top or bottom, but I allow the market, if the market is moving down into this period, I would look for a bottom. If it's moving up, I'd look for a top, so forth. So in this case here, both February and April, which were months I was looking at in advance for monthly swings, both turned out to be higher swing bottoms. Did I expect them to be higher swing bottoms? Like I said, not necessarily. I just wait until price arrives in that time frame. Then I go down to the weekly or the daily, see which direction it's going. Align the turns on those time frames with the turns I'm expecting on the monthly, and that's how I would zero in on whether to expect a bottom or a top. Okay, now we continue to move higher. I would like to mention that before we started moving above the April highs here, I had put out an analysis to my membership to start looking for higher resistance levels in the S&P. We just now started crossing above the April high here in May, and so another good reason to bring up or make this video. Okay, I've got a couple of major resistance levels here around 1915 and then 1982 are the next two levels to look for. If price starts closing above 1915, you obviously would then start looking at the next level. But these are levels that I look at, that I'm looking at as possible current topping levels for the month of June and possibly July. Now I wrote June, July because in my calculation, they both came out equal, which kind of made it a little tougher for me. And then another one comes out in October for another monthly swing. So you've got that well in advance there. So right now, we're moving into June here within a matter of days. Today's May 26th, so we've only got 5 more days left within this month. And I want to bring your attention to these resistance levels. So make a note of those because they may possibly produce resistance. Down here, my indicators, I got a MACD and I've got a DMI, or you may know this as an ADX. And the thing is as this market's been trending up and the ADX or the DMI line has been moving up, it's getting now to the point where we're nearing a potential cross down of the MACD, because you can, while the lines may not look visually to you, may be hard for you to see, the histogram here lets you know whether, the distance between the two MACD lines, whether they're increasing and decreasing, and you can see they're decreasing, which means now that we can see the oscillator and the signal lines will soon be crossing. And this happening at a time when the ADX here is coming up to it's coming up to a topping area here, is significant because it's an early indication that we could be looking at an end of a trend. It's never a certainty, but it has a very high correlation to that. Anyway, so in this case here, we may be looking at a end of a bullish trend in this time period here, which basically I should say within this year 2014. So because this is very long-term chart, okay, this is not going to pinpoint a specific month, but my calculations here provide us with a couple of months to look at, and we're looking at now June, and then we'd be looking at October later. So anyway, and here's your resistance. Now working our way over to the weekly chart, and we can see that previous resistance has been taken out now. It's several weeks old. Back here when I made an analysis and posted on my membership, I had mentioned those resistance levels that I just showed you, and we just now started breaking above previous monthly highs, and in this case a weekly chart, so weekly highs, and we are now in we closed up into new territory here. So this is something to keep an eye on. But what I want to point out here is you can see this red diamond here. This is the week ending of June 6th. And there is strong indication for a weekly turn during the week ending June 6th. So I have this notation here to remind me of that as we enter into that time period. And on the daily chart, don't mind all these little notes. These notes are for me, actually. But again, around that time period of week ending June 6th, I'm looking around the June 2nd, June 3rd time period. Now this red diamond is June 3rd, okay? So we want to keep an eye on June 2nd, June 3rd within the week of June 6th that I just mentioned here. So this is where I'm using the weekly chart along with the daily chart. Now you can see I've got some short-term stuff going on here, but what I'm speculating could possibly happen here is that we already extended out 1 day beyond this diamond part, so we may be looking at a pullback here this week that may or may not show up, because today is not even a trading day, and this is May 27th, which is tomorrow, which is a $ F date we got here, and we could possibly see a pullback here and then a rise into the June 3rd period here. But that's all speculation. I'm not focusing on this because if the market's trending up, I'm not going to be looking at selling here, so this is not going to do me any good with it going bullish and not being in this weekly period here. Okay, so I'm more concerned about this time period here, end of the square that you can see here. So that's what this video is about, is drawing your attention to week ending June 6th and specifically around the June 3rd and June 2nd time period, which correlates from here and the end of this square. Well, that's it. The video's already gone over 10 minutes, and so I'm going to go ahead and conclude and just make a note of that. Very important time period. And if things just kind of don't go the way that I'm making an early forecast on, and instead prices are declining into the June 2nd, 3rd, then you know that if it declines into it, we're looking at to reverse back up. But right now, my early estimation is that we're looking for topping during the first week of June. Okay, thanks again for watching, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you could be informed in a timely manner when these videos are sent out. And I also have a free newsletter if you're interested at www.amazingaccuracy.com. Thanks again for watching. Bye.